Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome from around the world, depending on whatever your time zone is. I hope this is a good morning get up or afternoon treat or before to go to bed lesson. So, again, welcome to Royal Oasis Spa U. My name is Corey Dyson Sr. I am part owner of Royal Oasis. I'm excited this evening because anytime that I can present information to the male platform, that's a whole new encouragement for me. So, what I want to encourage everyone to do, so you kings and young princes and those who are aspiring to have a full MAME at some point in time in your life, or just to be starting from a novice perspective, this educational tidbit for you. So, tonight's focus, men, is going to be beard growth and beard maintenance. So, we're going to go down and we're going to start to get a deeper understanding of hair growth, and we're also going to get a deeper understanding of what actually takes place within the skin and during the beard in the beard growing process as well. So again, have your pencils sharpened, have your pens ready, and have your notepads active. So let's do ready, set, and let's go. Let's just do a deeper dive into it. So I hope by the end of this tidbit that you guys have a better understanding of what good skincare is and how it relates to beard growth and beard grooming practices as well, and some potential problems that you may have identified but don't have the knowledge base or gap, if you will, to have an understanding on what you're actually seeing and what you need to do to be able to get some type of corrective action for that thing as well. So, and then we're going to learn about the different types of hair, and we're going to begin to relate to other beard problems as they occurred, and even be able to shine off of those who actually do have a good and proper hair growth, but still might need to get a little bit more additional information to help continuing on with that process. So, um, it's going to require some of your knowledge. You're going to have to gain some understanding for these tidbits so you can go forward and know what you need to do in the process of not only proper skincare and cleaning, but identification of some potential problems and identification that these problems that you may have may be of a natural or unnatural response, or it could be something that you're actually doing as a man to your skin that's actually affecting the hair that's on your skin as well. So I definitely want to encourage all the men to make sure that at the end of this, if you take away nothing, make sure that you maintain a good, healthy skincare regimen and properly take care of your beard and as well as your mustache. So the focus is definitely the beard, but a separate thing is the mustache, but you can treat them the same. So let's talk about some of the common things that, me talking through some of my clients and just a word on the street, if you will, and some things that I've even heard from the female population in regards to some potential beard problems or some current problems that they might have. So this is definitely speaking to those men who have a beard, but actually experience that their beard has patchiness within the beard. Also, those males who have razor bumps or are plagued about those razor bumps and just that annoying itch that you get within your beard sometime, and you want to try to get that under control. And then the last point about some potential problems with beard problems and beard growth can be directly related to your DNA. So this is something hereditary that you could have picked up along the way. So let's talk about the patches first. So I know when you get your beard and it's starting to look like it's growing real well, and then what you find is that you have patches and then it doesn't appear to be uniform, and you may find that that's unattractive. So don't worry about that. So there could be, a couple of different causes, but one of the main causes that you'll find when you have a patch within your beard is caused by a skin condition that's called alopecia. So, what is alopecia? So, alopecia is actually a problem within your immune system as it begins to attack your hair follicles, right, which leads to hair loss. So when something is in your immune system and there's an invader in there, then your body automatically triggers a system which is a self-defense trigger, and then it starts to attack those hair follicles, which thus leading to hair loss that can give you a patchiness. So it doesn't have to affect the whole face, which it can, but typically those patches are in a targeted area, and that's where you start to experience that hair loss. So sometimes this can be temporary and sometimes this can be permanent. So, at GJ Organics, we definitely pride ourselves because the aloe vera leaf is one of our main products that calm down the inflammation, and we kind of go back and take a good look at reconditioning that area to help the areas around it get refortified and strong to be able to continue with the process of the appearance of good and strong and healthy skin, right? But there are other reasons as well. Like I said earlier, there could be some hereditary causes that are in your DNA. And we can talk a little bit more about the hereditary and hormonal things a little bit later on in this discussion. But I also wanted to target on razor bumps. The professional terminology is pseudofolliculitis barbae. So some people have a myth to say, razor bumps come up because I shave. Well, that's only just one part of the image. It depends on how you shave, what you shave with. Some men use razors. Some men use electrical razors. Some use the foam based with the straight blade, and some actually just use the chemical based product on their skin. So know what you're doing, what you put on your skin, because it can have harmful effect on your skin, which in turn cause harmful effects on your beard as well. So those are some of the things I wanted to point out in here. So know when you're cutting against your skin what you're actually doing to the skin that the hair is actually coming out of. You're actually, inflicting an object or a piece of metal that is actually causing trauma to the actual skin. So what's happening is on your epidermis layer, excuse me, your epidermis layer, your top layer of your skin, what you're doing is that blade is actually meeting where that layer of skin is. And if you're not careful, you can inflict trauma onto that skin, clip off a piece of the hair, and then the hair not only grows straight out in an angle like it's supposed to, but what it actually does is, because the way it is clipped, it is forming a U shape and then it's protruding back into the skin. I don't think you've heard this called before from ingrown hair. So when that happens is that you're actually causing a secondary piece of trauma into the skin, thus those razor bumps coming in. They're not happy. You get the redness around it. It's very inflamed. And you're like, oh my goodness, what can I do to resolve that? And not only can it be inflamed, it can be irritated, it can be painful, and in some aspects it can feel like there's itchiness, and where do I go and what do I have to do to try to get out of this situation. But also what you might find out too is that you're actually dehydrating the skin, and you have not been able to pour back the vital oils and nutrients back into the skin to get the skin to calm down. So that's very good. Whatever, very good information. So whatever you need to do, you got to make sure you calm the skin down, cool that skin down. Whatever you stripped away, you got to make sure that you give it back. So if you took it away, you need to give it back. Now here's one of the other conditions that males commonly talk about as well. And these males that I talk to really feel like there's something hygienic that they're doing, or the lack of a better word, that they're not doing, and that's called beard dandruff. So, when you pull the beard apart or scratch out the beard, you see these white, flaky, or even a yellowish presentation of all these flakes that are coming out the beard. And no matter what you can do, you cannot seem to get rid of it and get it to go away. So let's talk about what's happening. So I just said it's not about bad hygiene, but what it is that your beard has what's called a yeast growth on the skin, right? And this skin condition is actually called by dermatologists as serebrotic dermatitis. So forgive me if I pronounced that wrong, but it's cereboric, there it is, cereboric dermatitis. I had to pull that all way out for you. And this is a type of fungus that's on the skin, right? So I don't want you to get too freaked out about that, because on our body we have micro organisms that are living on our skin to be able to provide a defense system, as you will. But what typically what happens is when you have this beard, your pores are open and wide up, or you shave it and you nick yourself, and then what happens is those microorganisms begins to get in to where your hair follicles are coming out of your face at, right? And then this is what causes this skin condition, or the contact dermatitis is what we will call it in this setting. And then what happens is, for you heavy sweaters, or you guys with very oily skin, it opens up those pores, and there you go. The fungus has fallen to the skin, thus causing hair dandruff. So this condition, I don't want you to think that there's a cure for it, but what there is there's control for it, right? So one of the biggest culprits that we find in this thing is that when you find out that your skin is dehydrated, you need to push back into it. Anything that you take, as I just said earlier, into this aspect of it, you need to be able to put back in it. So don't run out to your local store and purchase a shampoo, what's the common name, a Selsun Blue, or one of those type of products, and begin to think that that's going to be able to put into your beard and then be able to give you a cure. So you got to really find something that's really mild, that's really geared towards that area of your body, because what you use on your head you cannot use on your beard, because it's actually stripping and taking away very important things within your beard. So again, Okay, so those are some other areas that we talked about, but some other concerns. So let's talk about the hair growth factor for you men out there to be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I got some beard, but it's growing. But then, I woke up in the morning and I saw it, and I noticed that it wasn't the hair on the top of my head that was on the filler, but it was the smaller portions of hair that you've observed that is coming from your beard. Don't worry about that. So what you're experiencing, that it might not actually be a skin condition at all. It could be your body doing what it's naturally designed to do. So there's typically 4 stages in hair growth, but we're not going to talk about them. But I want to talk about that final stage, right? Which is the estrogen phase, right? So in the estrogen phase, what actually is taking place there is the old hair is actually coming out of your skin, while the new skin is beginning to purge out the old, and the new one is actually coming in. So that could be some of the things that you're seeing in regards to those type of hairs that are on your pillow. So don't freak out. Don't get alarmed. Don't just go into, oh my goodness, that there, I need to go see a doctor right away. Just realize that some of those minor hairs that could be coming out is just a natural response called the estrogen phase, right? So let's small it up just a little bit, old out and new in. All right. So, and another thing for you males that are out there that like shaving, I'm not knocking shaving. Trust me, I'm not. I unfortunately can't use a normal razor. I have to use professional barber trimmers because it caused havoc on my face. But one of the other things that I had to become an understanding is that if you ever look in the mirror, turn your face to the side and then zoom in on the mirror and take a good look, you will start to see those hairs in your face. But if you look around your cheek area and your ear area, you look at that hair that's there, and it has a white presentation, if you will. Those are actually 2 different types of hair at the same time, right? The white appearance looking one is called vellus hair, right? And then the normal hair that you might see around this area of your face, around your U and your chin area, those are called terminal hairs. Terminal hairs are the more longer and coarse hairs, right? But I just want to caution you. So when you're shaving, if you're shaving off the vellus hair, right, that's a problem, right? Because vellus hair, those little teeny fuzzy looking presentations, you really can't tell which way that hair is actually growing in your skin. So in fact, when you're cutting that, you could actually cause razor bumps. You can actually cause other skin condition because you simply just cut off what was the saying that they used to call it, peach fuzz. They say, hey young man, you growing that little peach fuzz, right? Right. But when the old school people used to tell you, well, cut that off, man, you'll get a full mane, you'll get a full beard. Or even when I was growing up, had no type of facial hair, beard hair whatsoever. And at that time I really didn't desire. Go shave. And then what happens is you'll start to get the hair that works for some it doesn't work. And that's because something that's taking place is called epilation, what they're using with the blade to try to trigger response for the hair to come out of your face, right? So anyway, all these little tales and myths and all that other stuff, that's why I wanted to bring this course to you guys this evening, to so you can get, some knowledge base, but then also get to take a deeper look at what's potentially taking place in your hair so you can know how to manage it. So you might want to take a second look when you're shaving your hair. You might want to take a second look when you have a barber touching your hair to make sure that they're doing the appropriate things, what they're doing, especially those ones that bring that razor or that straight blade to your face. You really got to know what they're doing and what they can do and the potential causes that can come for it. As I gave an example before, I was talking about razor bumps, which seems to be very common, but just as much beard dandruff is becoming more dominant as well. So here's some facts that we want to take away from this before I wrap this up. So you got to have good skincare. So look, the beard is coming out your face. It's coming out of your skin. So it's actually coming from your second layer of skin and protruding out to the first layer, the epidermis, what we were talking about, that top layer of skin, right? But don't be discouraged. You got to make sure that the one thing you got to do is you got to clean. You got to clean. You got to clean, you got to tone it down, and then you got to moisturize more. Very important, because what you're doing is you're actually setting your beard up for success when it comes out, right? But other things that you might want to factor in too is there could be some hormonal changes in your body. It could be an imbalance. It could be too high. It could be too low. Those are some things too. Testosterone is called dihydroxytestosterone, or DHT. Both of these could be some culprits when it comes to stimulating facial hair growth, right? So in most cases, a higher testosterone or and a higher DHT results in faster and stronger and a more vibrant and better beard growth, right? Where on the opposite end of it, on the low side of testosterone, it affects your beard in quite the opposite way. Very, very slow growth or no growth that you don't see. So this is what happens. So the testosterone is a hormone that triggers your body's red blood cells in a response to grow, 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 grow. And what happens then when it's too low and it's not being observed, then you start to feel, oh wow, this hair is not growing. Hey, my brother or my friend down the street, they're growing. Well, it could be a hormonal balance. It doesn't mean that it is, but it could be, or a DHT. So either one of these things, you want to just take a healthy look at it, right? Because this hormone is related to your hair growth. It's that sex characteristics, if you will, where it also includes proteins, and those proteins actually encourage a thicker beard. Food and foods containing vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, and vitamin E as well, all promote good hair growth. Um, some foods that you can eat that can help promote is like spinach. I know nobody likes spinach. Nobody likes spinach, or sweet peppers, or not nuts. Just make sure you don't have a nut allergy. And avocados and sweet potatoes. Love sweet potatoes. Gonna wrap those up on Thanksgiving for sure. And then berries. So here's another interesting tidbit that you guys want to be careful of when you're going into your store and you're just pulling off anything off of the shelf and then going to bring that back to your beard and to your skin. So shampoos and conditioners that were manufactured, they were manufactured by your scalp, right? It wasn't meant for your beard. I know that's going to sound shocking for you guys that have that hard or that coarse type skin. It sounds very confusing, but what happens is that shampoo can actually strip vital oils away from your beard, and it actually can dehydrate your beard. It can actually make that hair more coarse and hard and brittle. And then you're wondering, what can I do to try to reverse these effects? Well, in actuality, when you cleaned it, you actually did the damage when you're doing good to, I know, environmental, getting the elements and getting all the dirt and debris off of there. But what you're doing is you're stripping the natural chemistry that's built in your hair, and you're stripping it away. So here's a couple things that you can do. So when you go into the store, look for those more gentle soaps that doesn't have any harsh type of ingredients in it. But we here at GG Organics, we can take care of you. We make 100% organic product. But there's another product that is also my go-to product. It's called Viking Revolution. So I ordered a shampoo and a conditioner because it has a sandalwood collection, but it also has organ oil and jojoba oil and all these different oils that are in it. So what it's doing is using a mild soap and a mild conditioning agent in there to get in there while replenishing at the same time. So that might be something worth checking out, but definitely check us out. We're here to help. Again, a give back. But there's some other helpful tools that you can use in beard care as well. It's called high frequency. High frequency wands is what we use via a comb. It helps promote hair growth. And what it does is using that through that glass tip and that energy that's surging through it. And it's actually at the same time, when you're going through a nice healthy regimen, it's actually getting there and killing any form of bacteria that's laying on the surface of the skin. So this is great for us, man, because we want to kill that nasty stuff on our skin. So when our hair is coming out, it's coming into a good, welcoming environment, right? It's kind of like women in pregnancy, if you look at it from that aspect, that whatever you pour in to that baby, whatever nutrients that you're giving into that baby, it gives a natural pathway to a healthy beginning. And that's what happens when I look at hair. It's like hair is like a natural happy beginning that has a fresh start by what we do to take care of it, right? And there's also another tool, another device that's on the market as well. So be very, very careful with this too. It's called derma rolling, right? And that's just what it is, a little device that has hundreds of microscopic needles in it, and it's focused on the area when you're injecting those needles into it to improve blood flow. And that's what happens is when they make these little tiny openings, if you will, and it's opening up for blood flow and circulation that is increasing in the area with keratin and collagen, which is a protein, and that's what you want to do. So when it sees that flow and the oxygen and circulations is coming in, it starts to facilitate that hair growth, and everything is happy, right? So I want to talk to you guys about this oil that we were talking about earlier, that when we stripped it. So whatever I said earlier you need to take away, well, you need to give back. One of the great things that you can find pretty much anywhere is essential oils. They come in all these different flavors, and I know, trust me, I understand that you think that you want to buy that and you want to put them in these little cups and teas and things, put fire on, and makes a nice aroma in your house. However, you can use that on your beard and on your skin as well. Don't be fooled just by the fragrance, but you got to look at the natural properties of what it is. We're talking about antifungal, antibacterial, and anti-inflammatory properties in this oil. And did I just say yes? It smells good. If you're, it doesn't have to be that rosy, but they have some nice fragrances like sandalwood and hemp seed oil and all these other ones. Very, very nice to your palate. But one of the cautions I have to tell you is when you use that oil, you have to use something that's called a carrier oil, like organ oil or jojoba oil. You mix that together, you put it in, you just work that into your skin and then out from your skin into your hair, into your beard, and even into your mustache. Okay, so just very, very caution on that. Making sure that you don't mix those, don't put those on your skin that are unmixed. Okay, so again, we can help you with that, but the reason why I mentioned argan oil and jojoba oil and these different types is non-comedogenic, which means it doesn't clog your pores. So again, I'm happy about it. And here, what we do is we try to deliver great information through trial, through error, and through our personal experience and through education and training as well. Let's talk about grooming here. Okay, so the comb and the brush, good tools, very, very good starter tools, right? Some men just like, man, I know I got to use a brush, I know I got to use a comb, but what type of comb and brush are you using, right? So I know some men want to go out there, my beard is hard, so I got to use a hard brush. No, that's just going to pull the hair out. No, what you want to use is you want to use a medium to soft brush on your skin, right? Because hair, when it comes out naturally, is soft, right? But again, DNA, hormonal things, all these different changes in your body and what you do to the beard can actually dehydrate it, make it hard. So we got to make sure that we're training it into doing the thing. You know, it's just like pruning plants outside, right? Getting your beard trimmed, it helps the beard, right? When you're combing and brushing, you're training the hair and to help that hair grows out to a proper length. And for you gentlemen that has the longer beard, when you start to get past 1 to 2 inches in beard, and your hair is naturally going to fall straight. So you don't have to train it and beat it to death to get it to do what you need it to do, because there's going to be a natural response in that. So always make sure that you understand that. Also making sure that after you've conditioned, after you've shampooed and you've conditioned your beard, you also want to make sure that you bring it back in the good stuff. I talked about this before, talking about the beard oils or oils like biotin oil, which is good for you men that are out there that's struggling with hair growth. Also get a good beard balm, right? The beard balm a good beard balm contains the following: it's a moisturizer, it's a conditioner, it has all the oils and everything that you need to start at your skin base and pull that out and work it all the way through your hair. Work it out all the way through your hair, right? You want to make sure that that's important, right? You don't want to leave anything untouched, right? Because what you just did is by putting on that beard balm, you sealed the deal. You've put the oil back in and you've put a barrier in it to seal it. And the way that I typically do it is I apply the beard balm first, seal the deal, and then I'll go back over it with oil to seal that, to double seal it, but at the same time get a nice interesting sheen or a nice interesting shine on my beard as well. So I got layers of protection. Also, those layers of protection actually protect those hairs from the element as well. So don't be fooled by that. So when you walk out here, you know that you're going to be fully protected, that you're going to be secured in whatever you do, right? So again, there's plenty of things that you can do on the market, right? But you got to be careful of what other people may say works for them doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to work for you. For example, if another person is stripping themselves of natural oil using a certain shampoo product, for example, so what does that do? That leaves your beard dry, it leaves it coarse, it leaves it hard, but it also can leave it brittle, right? And also you can damage the roots of the hair as well. And then when the hair starts to come out, it's weak, and then it's so weak that it break off, split ends. Yes, you can get split ends in your beard too, man. So just be very, very careful of that. Just make sure that you're using gentle soaps that contain something called Castile soap. Or like I said, you can come to GJ Organics. We make this fresh. It's 100% organic base. And our primary product is the aloe vera. So you'll hear me talk about that throughout all these educations and training, and also the manuka honey as well, which is an anti-inflammatory, really, really great ingredient. But also, whatever you put in is whatever comes out. So that healthy diet that I was talking about before, consuming certain foods that are high in protein, that can really help you out to give you a good kick and a good start with that beard growth and that beard journey. It's really, really great. And then the last thing that I wanted to offer is beard straightening. So I do provide a service for beard straightening. It's definitely really, really a great tool to use, but it's definitely one that can be easily over abused. So it's really designed for those who are trying to tame a really thick beard or bushy, or one that no matter what I do, it has a messy appearance. I encourage you to use it, but know what you're doing when you do it. You can come see me. I'll walk you through it. No worries. But just be careful because you're introducing heat to the hair, and that could be actually damaging. So if you're one of the persons who's using a beard straightener, 3, 4, 5 times a week just to get a look, I strongly tell you to decease and desist. I would never use a beard straightening tool on any client more than twice in a week's period. And if you pay me 20, 30, 100, $2,000 more for a service, I would have to decline your money because I'm only after helping you maintain good skin and a good and healthy beard. Okay, so hey, I just turned down money, so I just said I'm gonna give it back to you because I don't want it. So just be careful when you're using it. And then you also know that there's heat, but then you can actually cause actual damage to the skin as well. So, and if you are using it, please make sure you keep it in its most lowest position all the time. That these ones that they make on the market come with 3 extra high. Hey, if you turn it up high and then you cause problems, and then some problems can be irreversible. So look, again, come talk to us. Hey, the knowledge sharing is free. So as I wrap this up, I did have a question that came up when I guess I used the word environmental. So don't be fooled. So when you're out, you're in your workplaces, your job place, you're sleeping at night, the cells are falling off. Yes, that beard is right there and it's collecting everything. It's your collection central station. So if you're a sweater, that's on top of that. That's on top of that. So it's really important, yes, to maintain that. Do not be afraid to shampoo your and condition your beard to your satisfaction. Just make sure that you're using appropriate shampoos and conditioners, and also want to make sure that whatever you took back, what you took out and you stripped away, you want to make sure that you give it back. So that's really, really important, man. So for you younger men that are out there on the market, please don't just go by the hype of your friends. Do a deeper dive into it. I challenge everybody to challenge the information I put out there. You can always reach us. We're more than happy to go through this whole regimen again. And you might even find that there'll be a course coming out in the future of this nature about more in-depth information too. So you gotta come real with this thing. So don't just think this is like I do it on Monday and then I can pick it up next Monday. No, on this journey, if you're serious about your look, you're serious about your appearance and having good benefits of it, and getting away from potential skin conditions like razor bumps that we talked about, that dry itchiness and stuff like that, then this is the pathway to help you maintain your own beard. But you gotta get in. You gotta get in there. You gotta dive in. You gotta hang in there with it. And I promise you that you will have a favorable outcome. Okay. So your daily routine is your key element. Okay. So I want to thank everybody for their time as we wrap this up and conclude it. Hope I haven't kept you terribly too long. But you can always feel free to reach us out at Royal Oasis Get Juice Company at our website at www.royaloasis-gjc.com. That's www.royaloasis-gjc.com. Or you can book an appointment with us at Royal Oasis GJC booksy.com. Hey, book with us. Hey, you'll love it. It'll be an experience of a lifetime. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to r.o.s YouTube channel at Zenobia Dyson. That's Zenobia Dyson at 3175. And you can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Royal Oasis Spa. Have a great evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you're globally. Thank you so much for your time. God bless and good evening.